Good to go? Okay, get started. This is a meeting of the Sleepy Hollow Local Development Forum. It is May 12th. Full crew. First off, so we've got Paul's resignation. I'm not sure if we need to. Justin on, by the way?
Yes, I am.
I don't know if we need to officially accept his resignation, Justin, seeing it's a mayor's appointment, but either way, we can.
It could be forwarded to the trustees. They appoint.
Yeah. Okay.
Does he need to them up?
Yeah, yes.
He's already done.
Mhm.
Okay.
And what was his role, by the way? Didn't he have an additional role? Was he treasurer or secretary?
He wasn't treasurer.
Secretary.
He was something.
I think it was secretary.
I have to go back and look at the,
Into
That
that
sounds
way,
right. I
guys
think he was
changed.
secretary.
Yeah.
Okay, the minutes from April 21st. Anybody have any changes or edits?
No, move to adopt the April 21st, 2025 meeting minutes.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Excuse myself, I wasn't here. Expenditures. Another John's Lawns amount total $410,824.63. Actually, 421,910.65. Sean's Lawns, 328. It's a large one, and then this Woodward and Kern, what's that?
that's just they're wrapping up, or they're pretty much done the upfront design work as part of the skate park promenade, that project. They still have about $30,000 left on the agreement we executed with them to get to the next step, which would be executing the design build amendment and moving forward with construction. So
Okay.
that's probably around the end of this month.
In a brief description on Sean's Lawns, that's
Sean's Lawns is, I mean, this pay rec covers more or less the curbing that they've installed, which I'll go into in my report, as well as some of the lighting progress that they've made and some other, minor utility things. But they have yet to get to a bulk of the finishing work, paving, sidewalks. So still a few more big invoices left.
okay. Any other questions on expenditures? Otherwise, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve expenditures as presented.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good. No resolutions today. Bring this to you, Dan.
I'm gonna start real quick with, I did get a request last week from HHB for use of the overflow parking lot on May 24th for an event that they're doing. It's just a one-day thing. I don't know exactly what the event is, but they requested use of the overflow parking lot from 1 to 4 p.m. In the past, we've typically allowed, those types of events to move forward.
I've got no problem. Taking stress.
I think it's
It's usually in.
Yeah.
What is it, Joanne? Oh,
Okay, I didn't see anything on their website as to.
What happened, I thought it was Memorial Day.
Is it? Okay. Maybe I'm thinking, I could be thinking last.
okay.
Do they have, I know they usually have a parking attendant.
Yes, if they're gonna use it, they'll have staff.
Okay.
And I'll give them the key and
Okay.
do a run through in advance of their use. Get some more details. As for the parcel work, the graffiti that was on the south, or southernmost kind of face of the new retaining wall was removed a couple of weeks back. You see there's a picture of that was in your packets. And then I did speak with both the DPW and our security camera provider. They're able to, DPW will have to put a power receptacle or make sure that there's otherwise power at one of the poles on the Beacon Avenue Bridge, so that our CCTV vendor can install a camera that will essentially overlook the wall and really the bulk of the 192 Beacon site, just as a way to keep eyes and to keep tabs on any, hopefully reduce or eliminate any future vandalism.
Or use
on
one
that
of
site.
our extra cameras. that we
Yep,
have.
there'd be no cost, so just take one of the cameras that we're not using and pop it up there. But before that, the DPW has to just make sure there's like a little power receptacle, power since it's all wireless. Work completed over the past couple of weeks since our last meeting. The light pole, pretty much all the sub-grade lighting work is complete. Pole foundations, pole boxes, conduit, and all the cabling. In a couple weeks, the CCT, or not the electric vendor will come back out once they have the physical poles and fixtures, which they're still waiting to take delivery of. They'll come out, install those, and then basically connect everything to the meter that's on Continental Street. And that will complete, essentially just the above grade work. Sean's Lawns has been pretty busy doing mostly curbing the past several weeks. They've essentially installed 800 feet for all of the curbing along the Continental Street extension. And they've got about 2,100 feet of curbing between both sides of the roadway for the Clinton Street extension, pretty much going from Continental all the way up to where the new wall begins. So overall, or at least as of last week, they're about 80% complete with curbing. And then they'll be shifting to trying to get portions of the roadways paved in the next week or so, as well as advancing some of the sidewalk on the south and east side of the roadways, as well as just all the other work that they've got to, some of the finishing work that they've got to do. So there's several pictures of that, just kind of showing you can actually see the road really taking shape with the subbase and everything down. Jumping forward to the skate park design build project. The Woodard and Kern design team, we essentially reached the point where the final plan is final. And they just have to dig down we gave them a couple of comments, the village team, on where they could potentially reduce some of the costs, things like removing some pathways from certain portions where our site contractor will install just curb and sidewalks at a much lesser cost.
Are they okay with that?
Yep, they are okay with that. So at this point, we're waiting about 2 weeks now. In about 2 weeks now, we should have the guaranteed maximum price that they're going to, pitch forward as, for execution with the design build amendment. So we just have to wait and see, what that number is and see if there's anything else we want to kind of push back on before executing and taking it to the construction phase. As far as our grants, the LWRP grant, there is a resolution that'll be before the village board at tomorrow's meeting, so that we can get that contract executed back in the state's hands. Once they send us back the fully executed copy, we'll start processing the reimbursements for that grant, so that we can get some grant money trickling back in.
How
That's the,
long will
They say to allow up to 2 months to get the signed grant contract back. But then it can be as little as 2 weeks once once we make a submission for reimbursement. That's a much quicker, it's because this is a reimburse as you go grant. It's not as cumbersome as some of the other grants where you have to complete the full project and go through audits.
What's the total amount we could draw down?
Total amount for the LWRP is 2.4 million, just for the LWRP portion, plus another 400,000 for the skate park.
And do we have some items queued up to be submitted right away?
Absolutely. So all of the Woodard and Kern design work that we've done up front, it's about 300,000 to date. That is all fully reimbursable. All of the curbing, sidewalk, and lighting that Sean Vaughn is installing is reimbursable money.
Good.
So, I mean, I think the last I updated my tracking sheet with this pay rec, we're somewhere in the ballpark of like 500,000 or 600,000. It's just ready and waiting.
Good.
And then that's pretty much everything I have for my report, aside from when our next meeting is going to be. As of right now, the schedule dictates that it's next Monday, the 19th. And then June 9th and June 23rd, it's 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And so I guess it's up to the board. Do we want to have another meeting in a week, or do we want to move around, you know, any of the May, or obviously 26th wouldn't work because that's Memorial Day weekend. I guess some options would be
Is our next one's the 19th, and then when's the next one after that right now?
scheduled for June 9th, but that could be moved up to June 2nd.
Can I ask a question? Was there a meeting on May 5th?
We did not have a meeting.
I had to cancel, and actually it turns out my babysitter was friends with Ben Cosby's family because of him passing away. So it shows what
Who?
like,
How interconnected.
how he connected our community is, yeah, it's kind of a neat.
That was
Yeah.
so teacher.
Yeah, and his family is active in the community. My babysitter was friends with the family. Yeah,
All right, so what do we want to do, folks?
I think Dan's idea on the second, I think you said, right?
We just push it
June
all
2nd.
back a week, the 2nd and the 16th. Or just,
Yeah, that
The
works.
2nd and the 16th, yeah, that sounds good.
Well,
and
so today's the 12th. So that's 3 weeks now. Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
3 weeks from today would be the next meeting.
or we have it on Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day. Or the Wednesday, I mean,
So people feel the 2nd should be the next meeting.
I think that makes sense. We keep it the Monday.
Does that work, Dan? Or anything for the next 3 weeks that would require us to meet?
I mean, I asked Justin, is there anything that would be pressing within the next 3 weeks that we would need a meeting before June 2nd?
I don't think so. I think that would be fine.
It's likely just the standard expenditures and approval of minutes.
Okay. The 2nd and then every 2 weeks from there, yeah? Good. All right, any other business to discuss? Otherwise, we're gonna go into exec.
I think both my questions are.
Okay. All right, so I get a motion to go into executive session to discuss contract negotiations and legal matters.
Motion to go into executive session to discuss contract.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Hmm?
I guess it's-